Hey guys, and welcome to this video on your money blocks in astrology. I'm Cassandra, the Saffron Sage, helping you use astrology to evolve. And today we're going to talk about the different ways that you can be blocked in your money in your astrology chart. So let's get into the video. If you haven't already done so, you guys, I did a whole video on your money story. They can tell you all about the second house ruler, the sixth house ruler, the 10th, and the 11th, and how these all play together in the chart to really create that story of your money, how you can best make money, what's the most ideal way, and all that kind of stuff. So check that video out if you haven't seen it yet. So in this video, we're going to do blocks based on the outer planets. Okay, so I'm going to talk about Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto and how they can block you financially. So what you need to know to watch this video is you need to know what the ruler of your second house is. You need to be able to know how to see if it makes an aspect to an outer planet. So for example, if you are looking to see if your money planet aspects Saturn, that would be a conjunction. Even a trine would be a positive, so that wouldn't be a block. A square or an opposition. Those would be the three main aspects that could cause blocks. So for this video, just to keep it kind of simple, we're only looking at the second house ruler, the planet that rules your money house, and the planet that rules your 10th house or your midheaven. For some people, that midheaven will be a different planet, so that you'll have two. Either way, that's okay. And so you want to see if any of these outer planets that I'm talking about make a negative aspect, so conjunction, square, or opposition to one of those planets. Now, just to clarify, conjunctions aren't always negative, but to keep things simple for this video, we're going to assume any outer planet conjunct a money planet is going to have its negative effects, because it will. It might have positive effects too, but it will also have negative ones. Okay, so if you have Saturn in connection with one of your money planets, this can cause some challenges to your work. It can just give you obstacles in terms of it's harder to make money. It might feel harder with Saturn. Wherever we have Saturn, we're naturally a little bit more pessimistic, right? So it can be hard for you to see the possibilities for yourself around how to make money, or if it's your 10th house, how to rise to success. It will be harder for you to see yourself as successful. There is some good qualities that Saturn infuses, which are responsibility, discipline, a desire to work hard, almost a need to work hard. But if you be more like Saturn in the sense that you apply discipline, you are willing to make sacrifices, are willing to set long-term goals and stick to them and give up what needs to be given up in order to reach them, follow the rules, be in integrity with whatever you're doing, follow all the kind of like business rules or the rules of your field. If you can embody those energies and if you can do those things, that's the way to work with Saturn. Another thing to know about Saturn is that oftentimes the benefits of that area of life seem to be delayed for that person until they get older, usually until at least 28 when they have their first Saturn return. So, if you have Saturn hitting a money planet, it doesn't mean you can't ever make money. Things can get really, really a lot better with time and wisdom if you learn the lessons with that placement. So oftentimes people with Saturn on one of their money planets, they'll be late bloomers when it comes to finances and things, and career as well. Now, to see if this is worse or better for you, you can look to see where your sun is in your chart. So if your sun is above the horizon, then that means you have a day chart. That means this influence won't be as bad. If your sun is below the horizon, then this influence will be stronger. So to overcome this placement, what you have to do is become really good at what you do and play the long game when it comes to career. You can't cut corners. You can't try to get rich quick. You really have to play the long game. And if you can do that, and if you're able to build skills and become very good at what you do, then you can have more success in career. Now, some people might feel like this is true for everybody, but it is not, in fact, true for everybody, right? Some people do have, I want to say overnight success, but in reality, they'll have success at a younger age, or they'll have more support, or, things will come a little bit more easily to them. Usually people with Saturn, wherever you have Saturn, that area of life doesn't come easily. If you have Uranus, making a conjunction, square, or opposition to a second house ruler or a 10th house ruler, midheaven ruler, this is going to create instability in the house that it rules. So it's like Uranus is like an on and off switch, right? So if you have it conjunct your second house ruler, you could have, or conjunct, square, or opposite your second house ruler, you could have times where, money comes in, like a direct deposit, and then times where it doesn't come in for a while. Now, this is not always a block, right? Sometimes it's like you do freelance work and then you make money, you make a lot of money in June and then you don't make money for a few months, right? Or even maybe like a truck driver might have this, right? Where they have seasonal work. People who have seasonal jobs might have this placement where it's like feast or famine. There's a time where the money comes in and that Uranus energy feels like it's turned on, and then times where it's turned off. So there's that. Uranus also creates instability. Okay, so if you have Uranus conjunct a money ruler or in aspect to a money ruler, this can make the money feel unstable to you. You could always feel like you never know if you're going to get more. You could subconsciously create that instability, right? You could be the one who's like, oh, I'm going to quit my job. I don't need it anymore, right before you're ready. So if you have this placement, you can watch for that tendency. It can also turn on and off your ability to spend money, where it's like there's an impulsiveness infused into wherever we have Uranus. So if you have it conjunct your money ruler, it might show up more in how you spend than how you receive. Now, if it's conjunct the 10th house ruler, then you're going to have more of, on and off switch with the work you do. Again, seasonal work. Now, for some people, this will infuse Uranus type qualities or themes into the work that you do. So Uranus rules things like science, math, technology, anything with technology, anything online, anything evolved, anything that has to do with expressing higher ideas. Uranus can also be rebellious, so you can do work that's very different than what society, it doesn't fit into the mold. It's a little bit out there to some people. And the thing about that is, depending on where you're from or what you're used to, that the definition of out there is different for everyone, right? So you could just be the one who does different work than all the people that you grew up around and, makes your money in a totally different way. But then when you're outside of that environment, you're not so weird, you're just an outlier in a sense. So one of the ways you can overcome this is to know that it is like an on and off switch for you, right? And to kind of prepare yourself for that. So know that when you do make money, that there's just a flow to your money that's like it'll turn on and it'll turn back off again. You can really do some inner work on this to see what within yourself you might be doing that is leading to the on and the off, right? So that you can just have a little bit more control over what you're doing to feed that energy or cut off the supply, if that's the case. Another thing to know is that if the money turns off, you have Uranus here, so it will turn back on again, and learning how to kind of accept that the rhythm of your depending on what you do, that the rhythm of your income might just always be like it's either on or it's off. And that instead of freaking out every time it turns off, remembering how it always turns back on again. It's also good with Uranus connected to a money planet or the 10th house planet to really embrace what's unique about you and allow it to be okay if you have any hang-ups about that. Neptune, if you have Neptune with a money planet, Neptune tends to dissolve what it touches. So this can make it challenging. With the money planet, this is often more about your feelings about money. Oftentimes people with Neptune dealing with a money planet, it's going to be like, I wish I didn't have to deal with that. It's going to be, I wish everything could just flow. Oftentimes you're so connected to the far off dream in that area of life and you feel it so strongly, but it's really, really hard to tap into the grounded next steps that you need to take or what the plan could be. It's like you could feel so deeply connected to your goals in life if Neptune is connected to your 10th house planet or in your 10th house, or on your midheaven. This is like, oh, I just want to inspire everyone and help the world and have so much compassion and love for all the humans, but I have no idea how to get there, right? So it can bring confusion around the path and the next steps and the grounded daily work that you need to do. And when it's connected to your money planet of your second house, the second house ruler, this might make it be more confusing around how you spend money. It might make you feel like you can't really see clearly how to up your skills, how to get money, how to sell. And so the differences here is that with the the 10th house, the confusion shows up more in the long-term goal and the potential you want to reach, how to reach it. Whereas with that money house, the confusion, oftentimes the lack of clarity here is going to be like a little bit more about the spending or receiving of the actual money. You could feel like you don't know how to sell. Your paycheck is spent before you have it. Or, you could just want money to flow to you. And if that works and it's working, that's cool. But if it's a block, with Neptune, you really have to force yourself to care about the details or get someone who can help you. Because, oftentimes when we're stuck in that far off dream, it's hard for us to do the things right now here in this moment to get to where we need to be. These are Neptune problems. So if you have Pluto connected to a money planet, your second house ruler or your 10th house ruler, this will cause a power/powerlessness dynamic. Wherever you have Pluto in your chart, it's where we come into life kind of more powerless over the thing, and we have to learn how to embrace our inner power related to that house or that area of life. So if you have Pluto like conjunct, square, or opposite a money ruler, that's going to be a feeling like you have no power over your money. Like it just gets taken out of your account and there's nothing you can do, even in situations where you are the one who created the challenge. I say this as someone who has this planet in my money house. You start off totally powerless over it, and you have to learn how to be empowered in that area. And when you do learn how to be empowered with money, oh my God, you have so much potential. But it doesn't come from like, oh, I just did this one thing one day. It comes from a slow emergence. For some people, it could be faster, but it's almost like you have to bring all your Kundalini energy up when it comes to money. I don't know how else to say that, but it's like you have to heal everything, wherever Pluto is. You have to resolve all the issues before you start getting the goods, before you start getting the benefits. Because it's like Pluto will force you to transform that area, or you suffer. And I hate sounding so mean about that, but it's the reality of the situation. You have to learn how to rule money. Otherwise, money is going to have power over you your whole life if you have Pluto in connection to a money planet. Now, you can also learn what that planet is and embody the higher qualities of that planet in the most powerful possible way. That's another way to work with this placement, right? So if you have Neptune, this is a healer. If you have Neptune on your second house and Pluto is squaring, conjunct, or opposite it, this is about learning how to be your own inner healer, learning the highest quality of Neptune, which is going to be like healing or inspiring, but in the way that actually works, right? Inspiring in a way that really helps and brings more to the world. If it is conjunct Mars, you need to learn the conjunct, square, or opposite Mars. You need to learn confidence in the highest possible way, which means not being in control, but being confident, right? Being able to say, I'm good at this. That is huge for people with Mars and Pluto with their money, dealing with that. So true power comes from knowing what you can control and what you can't control. And this is what having Pluto connected to the money ruler will teach you, whether you want to learn or not. Unfortunately, we don't get to choose these things. I guess that's my belief. Some people believe we choose our charts. I'm not one of those people, honestly. Wherever you have Pluto in connection is your greatest potential to transform. So if it's your money, it's all about being more empowered with money. If it's your 10th house, it's about being empowered with your self-image and the image that you present to the world and how you help the world, but not being in control, right? Power versus control. These are lessons we have to learn with Pluto here. You can also learn about Pluto's polarity point. This is in the book by Jeffrey Wolf Green called Pluto, and it talks about how whatever house you have Pluto in, the polarity point is that opposite house. Now, this is getting a little off the topic of money, but if you have Pluto in connection to a money planet or a career planet, this could help you to learn more about your evolutionary lesson with Pluto is probably tied up with money. This is especially true if you also have Pluto in your second or your 8th house. And you can watch my video on Pluto through the houses to learn more about your Pluto. You also have to learn to master your subconscious issues in the area that Pluto is in. when it's with money. So if Pluto is in connection to your money ruler, you need to learn to master your subconscious issues with money. You need to learn how to be in control of how you make your money and how you spend your money in the positive way, not in a controlling way, but in a powerful, like true power, not attached to the outcome, not trying to force it kind of a way. If it's connected to your 10th house ruler or in your 10th house, then you need to learn how to be in control of your image, of your job, of your role, and like step into your highest potential of the most power you can have in your career. So for a lot of people with Pluto, it's about rising to the top. And oftentimes wherever we have Pluto is where we really, really, really want to have power anyway. It's like our own. We all have a power hungry side. I know a lot of you spiritual people are like, no, we all have it. So it's okay. Like it's okay to have a side of yourself that wants power. We all have that. But usually with Pluto at your 10th, it's going to be, usually you're wanting to have a high powered career deep down. You want to be in a position of control. You want to be in a position of leadership. And, sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's bad. It really depends, right? They say power corrupts, but it's about finding your true power in the role that you have in the world and embracing that. Now that might be being in a position of authority. It could also be just finding a balance, where you can surrender to the things you don't have control over in your career, let go of the power struggles if you have power struggles with bosses, and be okay sometimes with not being the most powerful, right? So again, power versus control, power versus force. So that is what I have for Pluto. So that's what I have for this video. We went over Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto and the blocks that it can cause with making money and career. Let me know in a comment below, you guys, if you like this video. I always love hearing from you. And every time you comment, it helps me grow. So thank you for everyone who's commenting on all my videos. It helps me to know which ones you guys like so I can put out more like that. And it also helps me get more views every single day. So thank you for that. And you can also grab my free guide to align with your midheaven. This is a guide I made. It's easy to follow, it's simple, and it helps you know how to embrace the energy of your midheaven to reach your highest potential in career. So click the link below to check that out and grab that. And I will see you all in the next video.